All right, in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can easily create presentations that can close deals for you, maybe even get contracts sent. It can build educational seminars. The ability to make presentations off very little input is got to be one of the best things about using Claude. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do today is we're going to make one proposal, and then I'm going to also show you how to modify it just from prompting. All right, I'm going to be giving you all a training today on how we're going to be using Claude Desktop and Claude Cowork to create presentations for your business. These can be anything from presentations, proposals, offers. You can help make decisions with these. You can create fun PowerPoints when you have guests over. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to actually send a proposal to a roofing company live on the scene. So first, I'm going to create a new task in Cowork. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to hit the Wispr Flow button. I want you to create a proposal. Keep it 4 pages at most. I want this to be simple and easy to understand for Ty. He is the owner of Sunrise Home Solutions, and I'm going to upload his logo and colorway so that when you make this presentation, it fits his brand. And I want it to be about how we can be his AI consultant and growth operations partner. I want it to include a weekly call. I want it to have clear action tasks, and I want it to be tied back to either saving the company money, or I want it to be tied to growing a trackable system, because at the end of the day, Ty wants to employ as many people as he can with his roofing company, but he also wants to protect the enterprise value. So a lot of what we're making and documenting is so that he doesn't get further ahead than his systems. So notice that was one big voice prompt that probably anyone is capable of doing. And so all I'm going to do now is just take that screenshot from earlier of his logo. I'm going to attach it here. And then just so you guys are aware, Sonnet 4.6, I'm even going to show you that on medium effort is really all you need here. I do like to turn on the act without asking. I get really annoyed with the repetitive questions. So if you're new to Claude, leave ask before acting on, but over time, you'll start to understand that certain prompts like this, there's not a lot of approval that I would really need in the first place anyway. So I'm just going to hit send, and then we're just going to speed this up afterwards. And I will show you guys how this actually built the presentation. All right, so guys, when you see that it is writing this file here, that means that we are almost at the finish line. And this is also just a good reminder that you can see how much token spend is going on just at a glance by how big that number is. Even right now, like obviously I'm on the max plan, I'm not too concerned. If you were a daily user, I would get pretty alarmed. But the other thing you have to remember is my account knows who Ty is. We have a working relationship together. We've done a few builds for him before. So it's likely referencing a lot of those past conversations that have been transcribed and processed in this Claude account. And just so you know, it is always kind of nice to look. You have your progress bar up here. You can see what it's working on. And now created the 4 slides here in the working folder. All right, guys, so let's take a look at this. We're opening it in Keynote just to give you guys a little bit better of a view here. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at it. From door knock to final nail will follow through. You're building something real. Let's make sure your systems keep up. So it said fast-growing home service companies often outpace their own infrastructure. The result is great crews, clients, but no documented playbook, numbers, and decisions. We're here to fix that. So growing faster in your process, no centralized tracking, hiring before the structure is set. So these are all things we've discussed with Ty. The weekly strategy call, we set 3 actions for the week, a live build of an AI tool, accountability on open tasks, and we record it for their team to reference. What this includes is we automate all the follow-ups, the job status updates, the review requests, and reporting. It allows their team to immediately just start focusing on the real work, and we take care of the admin. For SOP and documentation, every time we build a process or do it, it has to get documented, and then there's a version control that the leaders of the company have. This allows them to hire and actually have that playbook. And then for the trackable KPI systems, we use Go High Level for the CRMs, but even if they don't have that, we are going to set up their Claude to have live artifacts showing all the dashboards that actually matter to them. And those will usually come from whatever the CRM or data source is you or your company already have. Then we go into the last part. It comes up with the retainer price. It comes up with what's included within it, all of the services and the time spent. And then it's also very clear of how to get started. So you review and sign the agreement, kick off the call, and then the first sprint begins. So I just want everyone to understand that this is how easy it is to make Claude presentations that make you look professional. They show up very well when they land in someone's inbox, or even if you text this to someone, this is an easy text to open on their phone. And then it also allows you to have a sense of professionalism where once they see that, okay, this person's clearly communicating that we have an agreement, they're getting their expectations set with the kickoff call, and then we hit the ground running, is all that people really need to see from these. And if they have more questions, I always share a transcript with this as well.